I'm just really psyched to get the win.
Redskins also get a win 23-20 over the Eagles. Two more teams move to 4-0. They are the Falcons, a 48-21 romping of the Texans. Devontae Freeman, 3 rushing touchdowns and a total of 149 yards. Cincinnati as well, they dismantled the Chiefs 36-21. Early in the day, it was the Jets opening things up in London. A victory over the Dolphins, 27-14. And Miami head coach Joe Philbin was asked after the game about his position now.
Joe, are you worried about your job security?
No, not at all. I'm worried about getting this team straightened out and fixed and getting our team ready to play the Tennessee Titans.
Giants dominated the Bills 24-10. The Panthers are yet another team moving to 4-0. Jameis Winston throws 4 interceptions as the Bucs get routed 37-23. Games going on right now. San Diego trying to pull away from Cleveland, leading 27-19 with 4 minutes and change to go in the fourth quarter. Denver on top of Minnesota also in the fourth quarter. That one 20-17. Peyton Manning just threw an interception. And the Packers, they lead the Niners 17-3. Rangers beating the Angels, meaning the Texas clinches the AL West crown. And Houston, they're in the wild card. They'll play the Yankees on Tuesday night. I'm Keith Irizarry.
This is KCAA.
Here's all you need to know. There's a new cool way to sell your unwanted stuff online. It's buysellmakeoffer.com. Buysellmakeoffer.com. You're not going to believe it. Join the legions of web sellers and buyers who are turning to buysellmakeoffer.com today. Never pay fees again. For low monthly membership of $7.95, you can sell up to 50 items, and there's a 60-day free trial membership to get you started. You can even produce your own infomercial to sell your products and upload the video for the world to see. Go right now to buysellmakeoffer.com.
As the owner of my business, I wear a lot of hats. I'm accounting, sales, and so much more. But I don't know marketing.
Let Dex Media be your marketing department. Our team can create a digital plan for you with everything from search to social. Contact Dex Media, that's DEX Media, to get found, get chosen, and get talked about.
Whoa, that's a job for cleanup, which would be me.
Call 844-230-3436 or visit dexmedia.com today.
Leading with over 500,000 searches, the suspense ended this week over the $310 million Powerball jackpot. The ticket was sold at a gas station in southwestern Michigan. The Michigan Lottery says this was the second largest jackpot this year. Also trending with over 500,000 searches, Google has announced not one, but 2 Nexus smartphones. Nexus 5X and Nexus 6P. Consumers on social media say they are thrilled to have learned from Google that both phones will charge more than twice as quickly as the new iPhones. How about those apples? And you may see many people wearing pink this month in support of breast cancer awareness. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The month is set aside to increase knowledge and awareness for the disease. This had over 50,000 searches. I'm Successful Brim with what's trending this week on KCAA 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
So pretty, you'll see. Amarillo, got up New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Nona, big samba, Scout, St. Bernardino, one, two. Get him to this kind of tip and go take that California trip. Get your kicks on Route 66. Well, get your kicks.
San Bernardino, what's up, people? This is Robert Porter. Welcome to the I Love San Bernardino radio show on station CNBC KCAA 1050 www.kcaaradio.com. Part of the Danny Alcarez and Angel Baby Sunday block every Sunday from 4 to 9 p.m., a place where we can all learn together. Our call-in line is 1-888-909-1050. Our call-in line is 1-888-909-1050. City events to remember. November 3rd is election. Please register to vote for the love of San Bernardino. Please, team, we need you to register to vote. Not enough people vote in our city. We need you to, it's really easy. Just got to fill it out, and you can even have the ballot sent to your house. So please register to vote, San Bernardino. We have a common council meeting tomorrow at 4 p.m. at City Hall. I'd like everyone to attend if you can. And just come out and check it out, see what's going on. You don't have to have a reason to be there. Just come see how our government functions. All right, and number 3, San Bernardino Valley College Candidate Forum on October 21st, 2015 from 4 to 8 p.m. So you should be there, right, Brian?
I'll do my best.
All right. Okay, and we have a freaky funnel cake contest on Halloween, Saturday 31st, 11 to 2 p.m. at the Green Spooky Shack Deli. Just a fun event for the kids, and if you make funnel cakes, you get some bragging rights. Hit me up on I Love San Bernardino Facebook group. This will be fun for the kids to just have a little fun and get something in their bellies before they head out trick-or-treating. So come on down to the Green Shack on October 31st. And then I'd like to mention our sponsor, Green Shack Deli, established 1978, voted best subs in the IE, 163 West Highland Avenue, San Bernardino, California. If you'd like to call in an order, please call 909-886-3812. And I believe they have a new app that you can download. So download their app and make an order that way.
They got a lot of hits, don't they?
Oh, man. Manel has really got it going on over there.
Mm-hmm.
I do love the Green Shack. And I'd like to mention Mike Gallo, president of the San Bernardino School Board and founder of Kelly Space Technologies, leading the way to San Bernardino prosperity. And I'd like to say, Mike Gallo, please get well. I heard you're a little bit under the weather, and we need you very much. So please get well, and I hope you feel better, sir.
Is it the flu season?
Yeah. He was in the hospital for a little bit, so I just want him to get better. And when he's ready to tell everybody what's going on, he'll will. All right, and
get well.
Yeah. Okay, well, now we're here with the San Bernardino 5th Ward candidate, Brian Davison. How you doing?
Here we are. This is a place to be.
And now that's Davis on, right?
Davis on.
Yeah, there's no D in there.
Yeah,
all right.
D.
Yeah,
Thanks.
all right on. Because I have to be specific with this because before other people it said David with a D, right? That's
correct.
Not, it's Davis, like my mother's last name.
Yeah.
All right.
It's been going on my whole life, so it's nothing new.
Well, I always got Quarter for Porter, so I don't know how they got that, man. Totally different letters in the beginning, but all right. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and your family. You have an interesting job.
Yeah, I work for myself. I have my own company, and it's a small company here in San Bernardino. I work on a lot of homes and condos and apartments. I work for a lot of property management companies, and it's a job that keeps me really busy. I have my sons that work with me, and my wife, who I've been married to for almost 20 years, and get a little closer. But yeah, and I've raised 10. I have 10 grandkids that I'm raising here.
Only 10? Well, you should at least have a dozen, right?
Well, there's 18, but 8 of them are a little bit further away. But 10 still in the ward, and
18?
18 altogether.
That's a lot of grandkids, right?
There's a lot of us running around, which is a good thing because that's our legacy.
Yeah, those are going to be future San Bernardinans right there.
That's what we're hoping.
All right.
Mayors and councilmen and everything else.
So what made you think that you wanted to be a councilman in San Bernardino right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. Right off the bat. Yeah, no, it's what we need is someone who knows business, someone who knows the logistics of business. That's what we need down there. We need to know where the dollars and cents slide and go,
Well, Danny talks about that all the time, being business friendly, right?
It has to be.
Business friendly.
It's one of the keys. You have to be business friendly to prosper.
Well, they're one of the main reasons we bring in revenue and them and homeowners, so we should treat them well and try to get as many new businesses to come in as possible.
You're actually
mom and pops.
Yeah, mom and pops. I love mom and pops. I'll go to their stores way before I go to a big franchise.
Yeah, Dr. Tom Pierce once told me, an economist up at Cal State San Bernardino, that if you don't shop at these small mom and pop stores, Walmart will take over and they won't exist any longer.
Walmart, Target, all of them will.
So ever since he told me that, I try not to go to those big stores, but sometimes save a money. But if I can, I'll go.
We got to stretch a mighty dollar as far as we can.
Yes, we truly do. We truly do.
That's what it's about.
Okay, well, what does a council person in San Bernardino do?
Well, they should represent their residents in their ward, and not only just think about their ward, but think about the whole city, because the whole city as a whole is what we're all fighting for. This is our city. This is our city we want to fight for, we want to keep, and we want to see prosper at all times.
So what would you do?
First thing we need to do is get the residents involved, because like you were saying a little while ago, many of the residents don't vote. And when I'm out walking, I suggest to them, if they aren't registered voter, register to vote.
How come you think they don't vote?
Because they're just...
They lost faith, hope?
Exactly. They lost faith and hope. And some would say, I'm thinking about moving. And I tell them, no, don't move, because there's still hope. We still can do this if we all just work together. And it can be done.
Well, it's obvious you haven't lost hope.
Oh, no. Heck no. I'm still here. I got too many grandkids.
Well, you wouldn't have ran for... you wouldn't run if you lost hope.
There's no way to lose hope.
And that's the type of person we need running, is someone who really doesn't want to run that much, but needs to run.
Needs to run. I'm not a politician. I may not always say the right things, and I may not say the wrong things, but thing is, we have to do what's right for San Bernardino. Not what's right for us, but San Bernardino as a whole.
Okay, right. I can agree with that. Mr. Olson.
Yeah, a lot of people, you constantly hear voter apathy. As I'm walking around, and I'm sure Brian's run into it, and I've talked with other people who are walking for different jobs in the city and even outside the city, a large portion of why the people don't vote is voter frustration.
Yeah,
there is a lot of frustration out there with the status quo. They're tired of politicians telling them what they want to know. They want somebody who's going to be there with them and tell them what they need to get done.
Well, yeah, and also we kind of want someone to tell us the truth.
Let's be upfront.
Exactly what I was thinking.
You know what? I kind of feel like a truth teller, and maybe someone calls me a rat, but what it comes down to is I hear all this stuff in City Hall, then I go out in the real world, and I don't hear any of it.
Yeah, you don't hear it.
So,
and it needs to be brought out.
Like, why those meetings are for the public. It's not for the mayor. Exactly. It's not for the dais. It's not for the city manager. It's for the public.
It's for the public, the residents of San Bernardino. And that's the way it should be. We got to get everybody involved. I know we're not going to get 100%, but if we can get 80% of the people involved, we'll turn the city around. There's no doubt.
What about, how do you feel about all these closed sessions?
I don't think they need to have closed sessions. What are they hiding?
Sometimes I feel like it's sometimes there's reasons, court reasons or legal reasons why they can't. But I think they should explain it very well before they ever have one of those instances.
It should be somewhere where everybody knows what's going on.
Mr. Olson.
Closed session meetings are one of those things that we have to have. One of the things we see on there, and I know they're not talking about it all the time, is Homeland Security. Obviously, certain things need to be kept secret. When you're talking about personnel matters, employees, yes, it needs to be private, or it's legal issues. You don't want to drop your hand on legal issues or that. However, it's all contingent upon those elected officials actually respecting what the rules are.
I'm just worried that they're using it for a bad reason.
Using it for their own purposes.
For example, when Jimmy Ray's Wildwood and Fast Freddy decided to try to create quorum. By creating quorum, they're like trying to use closed session to their advantage. And I don't think that's right. I think it should, if there's a specific reason to use quorum and you need a closed session, go ahead. But we need to get the people involved.
But you know what? These closed sessions need to be on a different day. There's no reason for these council meetings to go to 1 o'clock. That's crazy. People have jobs.
Yeah.
And some people live week to week. So these things that go on till 1 o'clock, 11 o'clock, it's not right.
Well, next meeting it goes out long. We're leaving Danny there the whole time. He actually stayed at the meeting longer than I did last time.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. These closed sessions they want to have, that's fine. Do it on a different day. Let's start this stuff a little earlier so people can be there and be home with their families in the evening.
Mr. Alcaraz.
Yes. I wonder what it's going to be like tomorrow. Is it going to be a lot of angry people tomorrow, too?
No, you mean at the meeting?
At the meeting, yes.
Interesting. Have you taken a look at the agenda?
You know, normally I had a habit of checking on the weekends and just seeing it where it's posted right there in front of City Hall. But with what's been going on, I'm to the point where half the time I don't want to even go. I have to force myself to go at the last minute because it's getting so old what they're doing.
And then you go through the agenda in there, and you feel like you have to speak on almost every item. And then you're not
too much to cover.
And honestly, you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
I mean, you could try, but you get like 10 seconds on every item they got on there.
Yeah, it's only a few words.
I bet you Scott could do it if he had to.
Actually, I've asked for clarification on whether we could do shorter time frames, and nobody could give me a solid answer. So it's kind of like you get 3 minutes, use it or lose it. You get 4 topics, because in all honesty, I get the impression up there they really don't want to hear what I have to say. And sometimes they outright wish I was gone when I open my mouth.
I don't think it's just I don't think it's a wish.
It's a strong desire. Yes, yes.
Are they texting when you're talking?
Yeah.
You know, in all honesty,
yes, probably.
Okay, in the scheme of what's important in this city,
I'm just kidding.
Well, no. That's a great question because texting is a valuable tool. If they have somebody with information or they have somebody who wants to make sure they get it right, bring an issue, they have a communication tool they can discreetly use up there. Now, selling guns is not a good idea on
it's
texting.
Yeah.
But you know what? Compared to what we have to deal with in bankruptcy,
that's what you were alluding to, Mr. Alcaraz.
No,
he's sneaky over there.
In the big scheme of things, okay, the council person's made a mistake. Did it really need to be all over mass media? If the people who were really cared about this city, who made a big deal out of it, they would have been quiet and not made us look like a spectacle and tried to use a councilman in the process.
Yeah, because it was a PR tool.
It was a PR tool, and the PR people are to blame for making us look bad just as much as what the council
not to
person
take
did.
anything away from Benita's story, because that story kicked butt. But it was grabbed by a PR machine and used afterwards.
Yeah.
And you call them out to that, and they won't give you an answer, will they? No, they won't. Because it's the truth.
So
they don't like that.
I wonder if that is going to come up tomorrow.
Oh, I bet you Mario's
I don't think
sit up there like a Marine, straight up, straight faced. You know, everything perfect. His ship is going to be shaped up.
That's right. I don't think that'll happen again.
Yeah,
at least not on this realm.
He's definitely, I'm sure, learned a very valuable lesson.
I think they all have from that.
Yeah,
or
I mean,
will.
That's a universal one that
exactly.
they because it got out that some of the council people were playing solitaire up there. That made me mad.
Oh my gosh.
I'm mad because I didn't have my own little piece, so I could be playing solitaire because they get boring when they keep talking on and on and on.
Yeah, maybe they got too much money up there. They all got their own little machines and stuff. You know.
Well, something's going on. That's what we need to change.
I got a question.
Okay, Mr. Alcaraz.
So we have what, 132 million coming in a year? That's what John said, right? How are we gonna? What's your idea to fix the city with that kind of money? With the fire department, police department.
Well, we already know the fire department is out the door, unless we can try to save it somehow, which would be a good idea. Okay. But right now, that kind of money, I couldn't tell you exactly what to do, but I know if we have this amount of money,
rough idea, just a rough idea.
Well, we need to go through the books, and what we need to keep and what we need to get rid of is what we need to do. If we have too many consultants, many of those need to go. This is why they elect councilmen to represent each ward and represent each resident. And the idea is to take care and use that money the way it should be used. Right now, it's not being used the correct way.
So maybe we should do about 50%, pay the bills of the city, and the rest for mom and pop stores, or maybe.
Well, how do we get those people?
We need to help the mom and pop stores. I did a drive with the officer, and we went into a store because there was a call there, and this lady was already beat up, and her face was all messed up from being robbed.
Oh, really?
And this is just right down here on Mount Vernon and right off the freeway there, not far from the Home Depot there.
What about maybe training a San Bernardino to do these jobs they say nobody can do? I mean,
there has to be. We got to save these mom and pop stores.
We pay big bucks for these outside consultants. Why not nurture and grow one of our own in our city? Make it an award for a college student coming out, of CSUSB. Yeah. If you take classes for this position, this and this happens. Yeah. But we don't think like that. We're like, let's go hire from Banning, Riverside, and Orange County and hope that they'll do what's best for San Bernardino, and it doesn't happen.
It's a good idea because we need to keep our money inside San Bernardino. The money that was, like my taxes, I just got my tax bill. It went up $400 since last year for my taxes on my house. That's crazy. That's not counting what I'm going to get on the fire department.
That's going to hurt. If it raised $400 in me and my mom, it's probably going to hurt us pretty dang bad.
I did. I was paying $38. Now I'm almost $44.
So everybody's already got a fixed income, and then they add more money to it.
Yeah, that's what they were complaining about with the sewer rates.
They're just going to get more desperate.
Yeah. You have these elders that are on fixed Social Security incomes, and $7 is that's part of their electric bill. That's part of their,
And it's a meal. That's for a couple of days because some people don't eat what they should be eating because they can't afford it.
Or their medicine.
Or the medicine, which is a crucial one.
And when an elder has to go without to make so the sewer pipes run better, because they mismanaged the money, well, that's why they get mad. If they would, when they did the first initial price increase, we should have used that money to fix the pipes.
Exactly. That's frustrating for me. Because
so do you think the consultants got that money, or where did that money go?
And it didn't go down the drain. So it went somewhere, and it definitely didn't go.
It went in between the cracks somewhere.
Poop flows downhill.
Yeah, a lot.
We had a joke in when I did sewers and septic.
What does that mean?
You follow the brown trout.
You follow the brown trout all the way. Exactly. And it's sad. It's all come to this, but it's came to this. So.
All right. Well, here's another
explain that one to me.
Okay. Someday, Mr. Al. All right. This is an easy one. Mr. Elmo Greenmeds.
Yes.
You have a question for Mr. Brian Davison.
I think this guy's got a question for everybody.
Well, of course, and it's the same question for everybody because I think it's an important topic for the city, and I think it's something that anyone that, from this point on, that is running for any office, that this should be an open discussion, and your thoughts and opinions on the topic should be known. We should know who is being put into office.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. What's your question?
Where is your stance?
Make it a good one.
On regulating medical, or even in the future, because 2016 we're going to be faced with recreational cannabis use.
Well, I think we got that already, right? Let's be honest. I think that's already going on. But you talk. Well, let me ask you.
Currently, we have a ban in the city that's
but you can't tell if you drive down the streets because they're everywhere. Well, let me ask you a question. We talking about grass and weed?
Cannabis, marijuana.
So okay. This is what I do on Saturday. I mow my grass and I pull my weeds out of my yard. You know what I mean? This is what I do.
Okay. Well, if you're growing roses, you don't throw them away, do you?
What I do, you prune them.
Right. I prune my cannabis bushes.
But you know what? The thing is with this is something the state's going to deal with. And when it comes down to this level, which is San Bernardino,
right?
That's when we're going to deal with it. Because right now it's at a state level.
So, and that's where I'm thinking is because this has been state law now for 20 years almost. This will be the 19th anniversary in November of Prop 215's implementation. Okay. Yeah. Here's my thought. If 20 years ago, when this was being just looked at and the thought was this is going to be a possibility someday, our politicians then should have looked into regulating and what the laws were instead of saying it's just going to happen someday and ignored the thing. And we may not be faced with bankruptcy right now. We may, as a matter of
business friendly, you said it.
I would argue that right now, that the illegal cannabis business and the cannabis tourism industry that has been generated by the Orange Show is the only thing that has kept San Bernardino alive for the last 5 years.
That's pretty.
I actually voted for that because that was medical marijuana.
Yes.
I voted for that because I was thinking it's for the people who actually need it, not recreation, for people who have cancer
Well,
or some kind
what
of
about
illness.
that? Well, let's say an adult wants to use it recreationally. Is that an issue?
I think everybody has their own opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if
this
someone's
is the science. Like you said, this is what it was enacted for. It was a compassionate use to let people with cancer die in peace.
Correct.
Since then, we have found that it actually kills cancer cells and can cure certain cancers, and that the use of it is virtually benign, and that's why recreational has become popular.
Yeah. Well, no, I've heard that too, and if it actually really does, and it is a fact, I think it's a good thing. How can you pass up a good thing if you can cure somebody from cancer, and use medical marijuana? I say go for it.
That's pretty good, Elmo. He answered the question. Basically, you don't want you want the state to do what they need to do.
Well, let's put it this way. You know, Colorado passed it.
Mm-hmm.
There's more people out of work now since they passed this. And there's more homeless on the streets now when they passed that through the state.
Wow. Can you give any
I don't know
background
about,
information on that?
Well, it's statistics. I have friends that live out that way, and they were telling me, out in Denver, for an example, there's more homeless people on the streets now than there was before.
Mm-hmm. Why is that?
This is after they passed this law to legalize
because
marijuana.
There was some stuff that went on about that there was a draw, and it had an initial impact on homelessness. What it was people relocating looking for work. So people like myself, a cannabis grower.
You know, we hear all kinds of things. But
Well,
to know for a
I
fact,
started in San Bernardino homeless because I came here to be protected from marijuana laws.
All right, team. All right, that's the hard question.
It's not really a hard question. I know what you're saying. You know, it's like alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
You know, many people tell me it's no different than alcohol. But, you know, we all have our opinions.
It is 100% different than alcohol.
Exactly. I know, but
kills.
Well,
no, he's saying it should be treated like alcohol.
Okay, I'm going to break in here because we've gone through the issue pretty good. I mean, Brian's taking a lot of heat compared to the other guys. We let Henry talk in circles the last time, and I still don't know where Henry stands on it.
Well, how do you feel about it? Oh, wait a second. We're at the end of the segment, right? One more question from Mr. Alcaraz.
How do you feel about the planning department? Have you ever had dealt with the planning department here in San Bernardino?
Oh, I sure have.
I want to hear your take on that.
Well, my planning department, it's been about 4 years now, and I want to run electrical from the side of my house up to across on behind my house.
Mm-hmm.
And it took them about 6 to 7 hours just to give me the okay. And before the end, I was telling them that, you know what, it doesn't matter. I sat here so long, I'm frustrated. I'm going to run the electrical up there because I'm a electrical certified by the state electrician. So I'm going to run it, and then we'll deal with it later. But he runs back up and talks to the mayor. We all know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Pittman.
Oh, okay. All right.
So he goes back up and he talks to the mayor, and he comes back down. He says, we're going to give you a permit. But I had to sit there 6 to 7 hours one day. That's lost revenue I was making because
well, you guys have seen it. It's the lit up cross over there on Little Mountain. Yeah.
Well, it's right there behind on Kendall and Shannon Circle behind Stater Brothers.
It's cool.
If you build something here, you got to get that permit. It's $2,500, and you got to do all the drawings and all that.
I had to do all the drawings, everything.
And then they come back and forth and back and forth, back and forth, and next thing you know, you got to pay again.
Yeah, I didn't lose hope. I stayed there till the end.
So that's where a big problem we have in there. We can be more planning, business.
We got to be more business friendly.
Meet halfway, something like that.
Yeah, and skirt the cannabis questions because both Mr. Nickel and Mr. Davison both had the similar not answer that we usually get, but that's okay.
But
it's okay.
Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody's going to do what they want to do.
It is illegal. It is illegal federally right now, and we have to accept that. All right, this is the end of this show, but we're moving on to the next segment in a second. But thank you so much, Mr. Davison, for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Go get some pictures.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Right on. Could you shoot me a?
Lord. And I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord, oh Lord. Well, if you told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. I've seen your face before, my friend, but I don't know if you know who I am. Well, I was there and I saw what you did. I saw it with my own two eyes. So you could wipe off that grin. I know where you've been. It's all been a pack of lies. And I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Well, I remember, don't worry. How could I ever forget? It's the first time, the last time we ever met. But I know the reason why you keep your silence up. No, you don't fool me. The hurt doesn't show, but the pain still grows. Some stranger to you and me. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord. I can feel it in the air tonight. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. And I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord. I can feel it in the air tonight. We don't need no education. We don't need no thought control. No dark sarcasm in the classroom. Teacher, leave them kids alone. Hey, teacher, leave them kids alone.
Hey, San Bernardino, we're back here with the I Love San Bernardino radio show. And we'd like to mention our sponsors, Auto Sound of San Bernardino, 299 Southeast Street, San Bernardino, California, 92401. Open 7 days a week. Call 909-384-9661 for all your stereo and video system needs. Mention Danny Alcaraz for 10% off. Auto Sound of Sam B. All right, thanks Renee of Auto Sound of San Bernardino. Scott Wyatt has been leading the way for our troubled youth. Thanks for all your guidance and caring, Scott Wyatt. San Bernardino History Tidbit, the Serrano Indians of Southern California. Francis J. Johnston, page 10. All right. Games, music, and ceremonies. It is not appropriate to think of the various phases of Indian life in sharp, clear-cut divisions. Most activities blended one into the other. Even as the people themselves blended physically and spiritually into the natural environment about them, everything done, felt, thought, and practiced had a connotation of union and was not isolated from the total meaning of things. Entertainment included storytelling, such as the legend of the great snake that traveled down from Arrowhead Springs. There was a large immortal deer that lived above San Manuel. There were the water babies who inhabited the warm springs and whose cry, if heard, meant death. The stories of creation recount the coming of man and the animals and provided accounts of how the people came to be where they are. There was much joy in these ceremonies and games. So basically what I was trying to show there is that a lot of the local native culture was done with ceremonies and songs, and one of those songs mentioned an immortal deer that's up behind San Manuel, and also a great snake that came down from Arrowhead Springs. Well, I believe these were actually made. I believe they actually created these pieces of art, and the stories filtered down slowly through. I've also found a story of 5 chiefs that's supposed to appear in the morning right now when the sun's shadow is a perfect angle on our 4 canyons.
I like your stories, Robert.
There's some cool stuff coming up here, man. I went out yesterday and did some good hiking, found some more art, incredible stuff. So I've been finding the art spanning the whole hills here, all the way. It just keeps going all the way to the coast, I'm assuming.
You do the hiking by yourself?
No, I go around with my friend Jim, and he has this little Pinsgauer, and we fly around this little golf cart machine, man. It's really cool. All right, well, that's San Bernardino's History Tidbit. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
I did.
All right.
It reminded me of the story La Llorona when you mentioned something about the story that if the kids ever heard it, that they would die.
Oh, yes.
You've heard that one.
Yes, I have. Indian origins, maybe.
I used to hear that all the time in Meadowbrook, all the time. La Llorona.
Okay, all right. Well, Negretti is a candidate for the San Bernardino City School Board. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you. Thank you for the invite.
Please tell us about yourself and your family.
I have lived here in San Bernardino for approximately 17 years. I have 4 children. My oldest graduated from Middle College High, and my other son is a high school student. I have 2 other daughters, 5th grade and 2nd grade. They're all doing wonderful.
Good.
They like helping when they can. Yesterday they were looking forward to painting at the Cultural Center.
Did they go to that Native American Studies event?
We went to the one at Arroyo?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we were there.
Cool. Yeah, I saw you there, and we got to meet Mr. Ramos. That was really got a picture with Mr. Ramos, and got to talk to him a little bit. So that was an interesting presentation they gave.
It was beautiful. Wow. It was beautiful. I was just I know I shared it in my website, and I was really hoping to have a full house because we want to have a full house to be able to bring everybody back.
Yeah, I did see that on there. Now, please mention your website and how people would go about finding more information about you.
Okay. It's Negretti for School Board 2015. I'm on Facebook. I also have Negretti for School Board at Gmail. Feel free to email me and contact me. And either way, you can reach me either way if you private message me or if you send me something on the Facebook.
And you can see it on I Love San Bernardino, too. We'll put it up there for you. Well, how will you improve the school board?
I think, my goal is to have transparency. And what I would love to see is some of our programs that are actually working duplicated. I believe that right now the deficiency, it's not so much that our children don't want to be involved is that there's the capability that, the spacing is just not there. We need to have, I would love to see another Richardson. I would love to see more opportunities like Middle College High to open the door with Cal State. If they can work with something with Cal State so we can duplicate the Middle College High opportunity that they offer, which is they can get to graduate with an AA, and it saves the parents, it gets the kids help to get started, get ahead. They get 2 years ahead, and that's what happened, with many of the kids. However, they are limited. The spacing is limited not only at Valley, but also at the school site. And I have proposed that they do the same, something similar to what they're doing now. What they've arranged now is that our teachers who have their doctorates are allowed to teach our kids, and they also have college credit. So I would love to see that more just than Middle College High. I would love to see it at our other high schools. It opens up the doors for our kids to advance.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So like college professors going to schools and teaching.
Well, some of our high school teachers have their doctorates.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And let's have that same, teaching technique that they can have out of,
maybe I'm on a different page, but I was like thinking, man, that's so cool. If we could actually once in a while have a real professor come to the school and they would teach a class on anthropology or, or whatever. What I wanted to ask you about is local civics. How could we get more local government, an understanding of the dais in our charter and things like that into our schools, so these kids actually know what they're voting on when they turn 18?
I believe it's by showing them, maybe coming in and talking to them. It's a good eye opener when you expose them to what's going on, because right now many of them believe, well, our city's in bankrupt, therefore our schools can't provide us the books and the technology devices that we need. And I have shared with them, when the opportunity is opened up for myself, because I do work for the school district, I share with them on a one-on-one. Like I said, I said, one has nothing to do with the other. Mm-hmm. The funding comes from different places. That you don't have books, that your classroom is falling apart, has nothing to do with the city bankruptcy. And that has been something that I also share with the parents. And it's like, whoa, really? And I said, yes. I said, because they're constantly being told, we don't have any money. I have heard the same thing as a parent. The funding's not there. We don't have any money. We just started the school year. There's absolutely no way that we don't have any money. Mm-hmm. And of course, when I attend the school board meetings, and you see at the school board meetings that we're spending, $3.4 million to buy a building.
Mm-hmm. What building are we buying?
The old San Bernardino Sun building, the one that's by the Walmart.
Okay, why are we buying that one?
That was bought as an expansion. They're going to move various, the EL department, the gate office, they're going to move it out there. And the concern is that how are parents going to be able to go there and continue to have the use of, just the use of the programs to be able to give their input. Some of our parents here, we know that we are in a socioeconomic impacted city. They use public transportation. And so are we welcoming the parents to be more active, or are we trying to refrain them to staying involved? And
Mr. Alcaraz.
Yes, we need more programs is what you're saying, right? For the kids.
We do. We need more programs, and we need our programs to stay here, centralized.
Mm-hmm. And not too far away where the parents can't get to them.
Well, I would have loved to have seen the district purchase the Carousel Mall. We used to have the enrollment center downstairs.
I was going to ask that question right now.
Yeah. Oh,
absolutely. I was wondering when you were going to say that. Yeah.
Well, it's centralized. You have the bus line right here. I know that school police is also looking for a new building. They're saying that they don't fit there where they're at, which is right behind the adult school. This would have completely been
perfect.
Yes, perfect, centralized for the parents. It has the capacity for everyone.
This place is about someone's legacy. It ain't about San Bernardino no more, saving the Carousel Mall. It's someone getting a legacy somewhere, man. And so this place is gone. I just hate to say it, but it looks more and more. It looks like it's gonna get raised. Looks like it's gonna get put under the dozer.
You think so?
I hope not.
Yeah, I mean that's what they want this to be, the jewel. This to be the future jewel of San Bernardino, whatever this is they're going to build here in a mixed-use development. So they'll probably have a few condos, a few smaller stores, and maybe one big one. Who knows what they're going to plan.
See, this would have been perfect for the parent meetings, when they have the parent meetings, and sometimes they're saying, you have to go to Indian Springs, and that's clear across the way. We keep asking centralized, so it's convenient for every parent to be involved. Mm-hmm. You would be able to have those meetings downstairs. It would be wonderful.
Yeah, they do need a spot where, because those meetings are for the parents, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, but just like the city council meetings, they try to make it so you don't come.
Maybe we should do the 3-minute thing and talk to them and present that idea.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
when's the
why
next?
not?
We can go visit some city, we can visit some meetings with the
Tuesday.
school board. Yeah, is it
Tuesday?
the next one?
This Tuesday will be a school board meeting, and that's when I continue to say the critical need is our students.
Mm-hmm.
And was there really a critical need to buy that facility right now? There wasn't. I can tell you that I've asked at many school sites, and our kids don't have books for home. That's a Williams Act. They don't have their, and because I recently requested through the California Public Records Act, could you let me know if at this particular school site, does everybody have a set of books at home? There's a kid that had enrolled 2 weeks prior to, who was just called the day after I put in my request to go and pick up his books. Well, that initiated something for them to follow through with what they should be doing already without having someone to, hold them accountable. It's no different than what's going on at San G. We had the classrooms impacted, and it wasn't until they went and they did a walkthrough, they could see, and there was one school board member who participated, they could see that the classrooms were impacted. However, when they came back for a follow-up, students were pulled out of classroom. 20 students were pulled out of classroom. So when they did the follow-through, it appeared that the problem had been fixed. And we can't continue to have this with our parents. We're seeing, we want parent involvement. How do you involve, just like how do we involve the community? When you're honest and transparent, then they know that you're being accountable and they want to come back. I can deal with the truth. I can't deal with dishonesties. I don't like it. I'd rather.
It pushes you away. It does.
Yeah, it does. And so if we want to engage our parents, be honest with them. And how do we support the students? We can't support the students with half truth. If they know what's really happening, then they come and they will ask. And it's just a critical need.
The kids know. They know.
Yeah,
they know the truth.
Well, that will lead to into this next question. How do we help the Spanish as a primary language kids? Because it seems to me like sometimes they fall through the cracks, and then they have the language barrier too. So there are kids that speak English that fall through the cracks too. But
yes.
I can't imagine how hard it would be if you didn't speak the language. So how can we help those kids?
Provide them the books. Provide all of our kids the books. There's
What about the language barrier part?
The language barrier, I suggested Rosetta Stone, just because if we're buying Rosetta Stone for our school board members to learn Spanish,
I see.
Isn't the need, our critical need should always be the students. And it should always be, if we're providing it for the adults, we should provide it for the kids. So, and communication is something that is very easy. We're not yet getting at the reading and writing, but if you can communicate with somebody, isn't that better? So they can say, you know what, I need help for this. I need the support for that. Rosetta Stone, Easy Fix, also the tablets. The tablets help them translate their work because they can always write it in Spanish, and then they get into the app, which is a free app, and they translate that into English. And it's not going to cost millions. And
but it will help them.
Oh yes, and in another group of students that's really, I don't see the district doing much, is our special ed students. And I know that the school district has received millions of dollars for special ed. And where is the money going? Is it going back into our students' hands, or is it not? We know that we have a high percentage of homeless students. What are we doing for them? And for them, the concern is that because their parents are not involved, who is speaking on their behalf?
Well, how would you help the homeless students? Like maybe have a program where you can
provide them their supplies.
Yeah.
Those basic supplies that the parents would buy for them. I know that I go back to school shopping.
The problem with the homeless student isn't necessarily the supplies. It's not being able to go to the school continuously
because they have nowhere.
Yeah, they always moving somewhere.
Right.
So how do we maybe provide them a type of shelter?
That would be wonderful, and that would be a collaboration between the city and the school district, and that would be a critical need, something that they should look into. This way we have them somewhere where there's longevity. They stop moving around, because that is a lot of, it's carried on their shoulders.
Yes, it is.
Is the graduation rate okay? That's a question I wanted to ask.
Okay. That's another smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors because I support programs that are working. However, our A+ has been a smoke and mirrors. I can tell you that one. It is increasing our graduation. However, is it truly preparing our students in their H3G requirements? It's preparing them to get their high school diploma. And if we want them to go to college or a university, it's not preparing them. So this A+ system, to me, when we want to move away from funneling our kids through, prisons and jails, is this really something that's going to pull them away? It isn't. Not if they're not H4G prepared. We're still funneling the kids. However, it looks wonderful. It looks wonderful that somebody can go out there and give themselves a pat on the back to say, we've increased our graduation rate, but have we truly prepared our children?
I've been wondering about that.
Well, my answer to that is that, for example, there's an exit exam to leave our school system, but they just now made that illegal.
And what happened was
they're giving all those kids their diplomas, right?
Well, and what happened with that one? Nobody renewed that contract for the testing. Mm-hmm. That contract was not renewed, so now they're and Brown signed it too. It's going retro as of 2004. Mm-hmm. So and I'm going, okay, is that something that we're lowering the bar?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. If the state can't even get it together with how we're going to graduate our students. Mm-hmm. Like, how are we going to do it on the lower level? So maybe we need to step up and
see. But we have things that work.
2 minutes.
Oh, another thing to look into, and I hope that our parents that are watching look into, is the APEX. APEX was a piloted program that started at San Bernardino High School. Okay. I was under the belief that it had a 2% passing rate. It didn't. It had a 1% passing rate. Really? And I know when somebody tells me, well, it's a piloted program, it just started, and I said, I understand. I said, however, had it had a 50% passing rate, I could see why we would support it district-wide, because it had a 50-50. It would be better if it had a 60-70, a higher percentage rate.
Yeah.
But to say that we're going to implement this APEX district-wide with a 1% passing rate, why are we spending the money again? Again, let's put the money back into our students' hands, stop balancing the budget on the backs of our staff, focus on the need, and the need is ultimately give our students what they need to move forward. We have pathways. Let's enforce that one.
Please tell us how to get to your website one more time.
Is that everybody can vote?
Yes.
All San Bernardino County?
Yeah. Please tell us about how to get a hold of you.
It's Negretti for School Board. I'm on Facebook, and also Negretti for School Board 2015, Negretti for School Board at gmail.com.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for coming.
Right on. Later, San Bernardino.
As soon as we started to move, the music played while our bodies displayed through the dance. The love picked us out for romance.
This is 1050 AM KCAA Loma Linda and 106.5 FM Yucaipa.
Your NBC Sports Radio update starts now.
The Falcons are beginning to prove they might just be the best team in the NFL. I'm Keith Arizari. A 48-21 drubbing of the Texans. Devontae Freeman had 3 rushing touchdowns and a total of 149 yards. And he says this team is ready and raring to continue to go.
We just hungry, man. We just hungry.